Today's video is going to be another strength building and a little bit of cardiovascular work. I have one dumbbell. I'm holding 8 pounds. I would do anything 10 pounds or under or no weight at all. So you decide what's best for your body today for this workout. I'm going to be using my Tabata timer again, so we'll have a 45-second period of work and a 15-second period of rest. All right, so go ahead and grab your one dumbbell weight. I'm going to get started with the timer. The first exercise will be called the suitcase squat. So you're going to place the weight in your right hand, feet sit bone distance apart, legs parallel, your arms just hanging by your side, just doing a regular squat down and up. And again, whenever we're working on squats, what we're working on is our hip musculature. So when you come up, give a little squeeze of your glutes and a pull in of the belly to get nice and tall and extended through the front of the hips. And so anytime we use one-sided weights, it works our obliques and our whole body in a little bit different of a way because we have to balance, we have to stabilize and find the center of our bodies. We have about 5 seconds left on this side. Keep breathing. And come up and rest, switch sides. So holding on to the weight in your left side, kind of shake out the shoulders, wiggle out your feet, shake out the hips. Take a deep breath, inhale. We have about 3 seconds and begin. Down and up. You inhale down, exhale up. Go at a pace that you can engage your glutes at the top, bending through the knees and through your hips and through your ankles, right? So it's not just knees. We're feeling that nice hinge in the hip socket, the hinge and fold at the knee socket, and the hinge and the fold at the ankles. Very important that you can think of all three. Our spine is nice and tall. I'll show you from a side view. We're not tucking the pelvis. We're keeping the chest open. Inhale down, exhale up. Notice that I have a bend in my hips, bend in my knees, bend in my ankles, and rest. Good, shake it out. The next work is going to be lunge work. So we'll start with our right leg forward, left leg back. Both hands hold the weight. Back heel is lifted. Bend through your lunge, twist to your right, come through center and up. Again, lunge, twist right, center, and up. So we're twisting towards the front bent knee. Go down, twist, center, and up. Your back heel stays lifted. Bend through your back big toe each time that you lunge. Sometimes if we have bunions or hammer toes, we tend to roll out and around up from that big toe. So can you keep the weight equal across the ball of your back foot, big toe to little toe? And rest. Turning the other direction. Your left foot will be forward, right foot is back, holding on to that weight with both hands, elbows softly bent. Back heel is lifted. Bending down into your lunge, twist towards the left bent knee and up. You bend both knees, you twist the torso. When you're twisting, it's only the rib cage, shoulders, and head. Your pelvis doesn't move. So you find the lunge, you hold the lunge as you rotate. We're just holding on to the weight. The arms just go along for the ride. So the twisting is happening at your waistline. Trying to stay balanced on the tripod of your feet. So the front foot, you have the heel, big toe mound, and little toe mound into the floor equally. The back leg is the ball of the foot. The heel stays lifted. Come to center, stand, and shake it out. Nice job. Kind of shake out of the feet. We're going into a bent over row. And again, still just holding on to that one weight. Feet sit bone distance apart. We'll bend your knees a little bit and hinge forward, and it's just the right arm that will be rowing. So if I turn to my side so you can see my side view, you're going to see that my spine is straight, my chest is open, I'm hinged forward, my neck is long. So I'm not looking straight ahead, I'm actually kind of looking at the floor out in front of me, my mat. As you bend the elbow, try to wrap it around your body a little bit towards your spine. When you're in this position, check in with your abdominals. Make sure that your belly isn't pooching out or your ribs aren't flaring forward. Sometimes we go into a back extension here, and really we just want a nice, straight, neutral spine. Good, stand all the way up, switching sides. Passing that weight over to your left arm. Again, redo your stance if you need to. Feet sit bone distance apart. Toes and knees staring straight ahead. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Soften your knees. Tip forward at the hips and bend. So just a single arm row. Again, anytime we have weight on one side of our body, it's going to challenge our bodies to find center. It's going to challenge our obliques and just our balance system. I'm going to turn to the side. Keep going. Again, just so you can see what a neutral flat back looks like. We're not rounding, we're not overextending, we're just in a straight neutral spine. Feel your shoulder blade and arm bone wrap back to your spine as you pull up on that weight. And when you're pulling up on that weight, nothing else in your body changes. You're stabilizing through the entire body as your arm moves. Good, and then come up. Nice job, shake out those shoulders. We're going to go into a sumo squat next. So you're going to stand wide and turned out, holding your weight in both hands. You're going to squat down, tip to your right, come to center, and up. Again, squat down. Let's go to the right again. Come to center and up. So we're going to stay to the same side for 45 seconds, and then we'll switch to the left after we do 45 seconds on the right. I want you to feel as if you were between two panes of glass with your body and you are side bending over and up without touching those panes of glass, or similar to a toaster oven. If your body was sliding down into a toaster oven, you don't want to get burned into the front or the back side of your body, so you have to stay really nice and thin between those two sides. So like a little teapot, tip over, center, and up. Squat down, tip, center, and up. Can you do this with your waistline rather than shoulders or neck? One more. Good, we got the other side to do. Shake out those shoulders, kind of move your hips around a little bit. Check in with your stance. Make sure that you're turned out equally on both sides. Give yourself a big shoulder roll, bend those elbows, hold that weight, other side. Squat down, tip over, center, and up. So as if your spine could curve over like it wants to wrap up and over a ball on your side. So it's not just one part of your spine, it's your entire spine. But remember, your hips have to stay placed in that squat. So when you go over, you're leading from the crown of your head, but you can't move that right sit bone. That right sit bone has to stay where it's at as you try to stretch the upper half of your spine up and around that imaginary ball. Get a nice elongated stretch up and over. So we're not collapsing, we're stretching up and over. There's our timer. Come up and rest. Heel toe your feet back together. We are now going to come down into a plank. So once you are down here, I want you to have the weight underneath your right hand. We're going to come into a plank. If you don't feel comfortable with the plank, you come down to your knees, but we're doing a single arm row. So you're bending your elbow right to your spine behind you. If your feet are wider apart, it makes it easier to balance. If your feet are more narrow, it makes it more of a challenge. Exhale to row. Trying to keep your hips nice and still. Trying to keep shoulder in line with shoulder, which is hard. Breathe. Feel your obliques stabilize your hips as you bend that elbow. Come down to your knees, sit back, child's pose, stretch. We're going to go to the other side. That weight is going to go to the left hand. Again, if you narrow your stance in your plank, it's going to be harder. If you widen your stance, it's going to be easier. Keep your hips still, square to the ground, shoulders still, square to the ground, and if you need to, from your plank, you come down to your knees. That's always a great option here. At any time, you can come back up into your plank to challenge yourself more. Keep the elbow that's supporting you a little bit soft, so we're not hyperextending. Bending that elbow back behind you towards your spine. Looking down at your thumb. I just corrected myself. And rest. Those are hard. Sit back to your heels, child's pose. The next one that we're going to do is a little bit of triceps. So going back with that right hand on the weight, you come to a all fours position, straighten the arm, and bend. So it's just a tricep kickback or tricep extension. Your elbow is right by your side. Your chest is open. Your eyesight is looking down at your left thumb that's on the floor. So I don't want you looking straight ahead. That's a bad habit of mine. But we don't want to overbend the neck. We want to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Push your left palm on the floor a little bit firmer so that you're pulling your torso right up into your shoulder blade. We're not letting that shoulder blade pop off our back. Good. Press back. Exhale. Feeling those triceps. One more. And rest. Set that weight down. Sit it back. Take a stretch. Other side, coming up to all fours. Left hand holds that weight. Extending and bending. Pressing back and bend. I'm going to turn to face the other direction for you. So you can see my elbow is right by my side. My ribs are knit. My head is attached to my spine, right? So I should be looking at my right thumb that's on the floor, not up ahead of me. Because I want my neck to be nice and long, just like the rest of my spine. Pressing back. When I'm pressing back, I'm keeping my neutral position in my body. So I'm not letting the belly slouch. I'm not letting the ribs flare. Keeping the tailbone up to the sky. Keeping length in my waistline. Sometimes when it gets tough, we tend to side bend or we scrunch our hip up and rest. Nice job. So the next one is going to be on our backs in a bridge position for a little bit of chest work. So grab that one weight. Lie on down. Weight goes into your right arm. Elbow is bent. Lift up into your bridge. It's a chest press with the right arm. You bend the elbow to the side and you press up to the sky. Bend it to the side and press it back up. Your goal is to keep both hips into the bridge position. One hip is lower than the other. They're both equally lifted. Standing into your heels. Squeezing your glutes. Melting the ribs and the chest a little bit so we don't hold our bodies up into our bridge with our back muscles. We're holding our bodies up into our bridge with our glutes. Wiggle your toes, stand into your heels, keep those hips lifted, and continue that single arm chest press. One more. Good. Rest your hips down. Switch that weight to your left hand. Your left elbow is bent out to a 90-degree by your side. Once the buzzer goes off, we're going to lift up into our bridge. Good. Up you go. Left arm presses straight up and it bends out to the ground. Press straight up. So again, you should feel your obliques trying to figure out how to balance you up in space with your hips as the weight is on one side and not both. So anytime we do unilateral work, it's very healthy for our bodies because we have to figure out how to perform on one side versus the other. Sometimes we have a dominant side, and when we're doing exercise with both arms doing the same thing or both legs doing the same thing, we don't realize that we're actually overcompensating on one side because another side or another part of the body is weaker. So it's always beneficial to do unilateral work. Let's do one more. And rest. Come back down. Hold on to the weight with both hands. Walk your feet down so you just have a soft bend in the knee. We're going to roll up. Once the timer goes off, slowly into a full seated position. Nod the chin to the chest, reach the weight over your knees and come all the way up. Bend your elbows at the top. Reach those arms out and roll back down. And again, exhale, use that weight to your advantage. It's going to help you curl up. When you're up there, do a bicep curl. The weight goes towards your forehead. You reach out and you roll back down. And again, curl it up, rolling through vertebra by vertebra. When you're up there, you do a bicep curl. Straighten, curl the tail, roll it back down. Exhale, curling it up. Stay at the top for a bicep curl. Shoulders stay down. So just because you're bending your elbows using your bicep doesn't mean you need to hike your shoulders. Shoulders can stay down. Bend and roll it all the way back down. Now on the next one, we're going to rotate towards one side to get our obliques. Just take a deep breath in if you want to lower those elbows down to rest the weight for a little bit. We're going to start just the same. This time you're only going to come halfway up. So you curl halfway, you twist to center, and roll back down. If you would like to have your elbows bent, you can do that when you twist to be safer and softer on your shoulders. So I'll demonstrate that on the next one. You roll up, you bend your elbows, then you twist. So the weight is closer to your chest. I'm holding my arms out straight to get up because it actually helps you to roll up. Then you can bend your elbows, twist, come back to center, and roll it back down. So the arms are straight to get up. You bend the elbows, twist, come to center, and as you roll down, maybe you want to straighten those arms again. That will slow you down. One more time, you roll up, bend the elbows, twist. Let's just finish this out. Roll it down and rest. Carefully drop that weight off to your side. And then go ahead and open your arms out to a T. Bend your knees, feet flat on the mat. My buzzer is still going, but we're actually just stretching. Drop your knees over to your left and look over your right shoulder. And then come back to center. Drop your knees over to your right, look over your left shoulder. And coming back to center, hug one knee into your chest, rock yourself all the way up. I'll stop my timer. Let's just go ahead and do a couple more stretches. We're going to place your feet together, soles of the feet that is, together in front of you. Hold on to your ankles, hinge forward. Your elbows can gently press your thigh bones out to the mat. Good, sitting yourself all the way up. Keep your left knee bent. Straighten your right leg out to the side. Sit up nice and tall on your sit bones. Let's do a side bend. Your right arm reaches down to your ankle, your right ankle. Just let that left arm come up and over. Just taking a nice stretch in your inner hamstring, your waistline. And then all the way up gently. Let's switch sides. Bend the right knee, left leg extends long. Left arm on your leg, right arm up to the sky, and just slide that left hand down to your ankle. Just take a nice side bend stretch. And then coming all the way back up, let's straighten both legs down our mat for a hamstring stretch. Let's flex your feet. If you need to have a little soft kneecap, that's fine. If your hamstrings are tight, you might want to bend those knees. Inhale, the arms go up. Exhale, fold forward, scoop the belly back and just reach towards your toes. Relax the neck and shoulders. Take a breath. Inhale, breathe into your back, right between your shoulder blades, even into the low back if you can. And then exhale, stack up tall and reach both arms up to the sky. Now stay tall, twist to your left and open both arms. Get a nice rotation through the spine. Inhale, arms up, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Both arms melt down and out. Inhale, back up. Exhale to rotate. One more time. Inhale, up. And exhale to twist. Inhale, up. Go ahead and rest both arms down. Bend your knees. Come into, I should say, in kind of like a little crouch position here. Let's stretch those hamstrings. Your hands are down on the mat. You straighten your legs, fold forward, keeping those heels on the mat. Soft knees, they're not locked. Just let the head hang heavy. Get a little hamstring stretch here. Bend one knee, but keep one leg straight, like a little hip hike, or like a little hip attitude. And then switch, bend the other knee, and the other leg goes straight. Kind of stick that hip out there a little bit. Feel that stretch. And then bend both knees, curl the tail, and roll up one vertebra at a time. Lift both arms all the way up to the sky. Inhale and exhale down. Nice job. Thanks so much.